Did you know that 100 out of 100 people are suffering with subscriber phobia? So if you hit the subscribe button, you're cured! Hello Gadies and Gentlemen, it's Averageteadrinker here and we are back with the first banger of Season 3. This is my first tips and tricks video for this season and they will be just like last season's videos, where I showcase little things I've found out and how to deal with noteworthy mobs and bosses throughout the dungeon. The thing to mention is, as it's the start of the season, it's worth taking into consideration that things will evolve and new tips and tricks may be learned. If they do drastically change how we play the dungeon, then I'll probably make another video, or I'll pin a comment below. I'll show my talents and stats at the start of the dungeon, and I will link my talents in the description. Enjoy the pump! Starting off, there isn't too much going on in this area up to the first boss, just a few casts you need to watch out for. The most important being Choke and Binds, as this is a channeled cast and it stuns the target until it's kicked or CC'd. The other cast by the Naturalist is Dancing Thorns, which just hits the tank. And then the last cast in the area is from the Cultivators, is Enraged Growth, which buffs a random mob's damage and attack speed, so it can be quite bad for the tank. Most important kick though is definitely the Choking Vines, so just make sure you kick that or CC it. Right, so for Big Barky, it's a super easy fight. Roots will be placed on allies. I believe if you have range, it prefers to go on them. If not, just place them in a semicircle behind the boss. He will then phase once the bar depletes and he will take increased damage. And then water globals are going to start migrating towards the boss, but they will be soaked by the roots. Eventually the roots will disappear and they'll go back to the boss, which is fine. You should use your primordial wave on the ads, and if the ads are stacked together and you can guarantee a nice flame shock spread with lava lash, do it, because you get more haste going into the increased damage phase. And then it's just little water swirlies are going to drop on your feet and they will hurt if they hit you, and that's the fight. So up to the second boss, there's 2 more mobs now we deal with as we clear to him. There's the Berserkers and the Abominations. Thankfully, if you have range, the Berserkers are just going to jump on them instead, so not a problem, feels good. If you want to be a nice little Shaman, you could put a Windrush Totem in your ranged, but then again, that's 1 global, we're not bumping into the pack, so priorities maybe? That ability is called Bounding Whirl. So just be wary of that if your range die and then you have to deal with it. The next one, as I said, is the Abomination. They do a cast called Noxious Eruption, and that is a massive dot on everyone in the party. I would save your defensives for this, especially on Fortified because it hits like a truck. And make sure you funnel this mob down. Right, I'm going to pre-apologize for butchering the names, but it is what it is, so just deal with it. For the Angry Trio, there are 3 important casts going off, and things can go really sour really quick if you're not paying attention. The most used strategy I've used and done is you nuke down Tilu as he isn't casting Terrestrial Fury. So you can cleave down Tilu and Dulhu, and then kick Tilu's casts. Things can get tricky though if you haven't killed Tilu yet, as Gola's going to start casting his spells, Water Ball and Revitalize, as he's going to swap Terrestrial Fury. The 2 main casts to be kicked are Toxic Bloom and Revitalize. Thankfully Revitalize can be purged, but it still does heal the boss by 12%. So Toxic Bloom is definitely the one you most want to kick because it stuns everyone for 4 seconds. And then the last thing to deal with is Dulhu's Noxus Charge. Going to do it on the tank, so don't stand on the tank, and then it's going to drop a pool of green stuff on your feet. So if you're attacking the caster mobs and you don't move out, you're just going to put a massive blob of poop all over the floor. So you need to move out so you can actually attack the mobs. And then just for enhance, you basically just want a Primordial Wave on cooldown. Make sure you're using defensives if you see you're getting bolted by the casts. And make sure you have 3 flame shocks up at all times.
3, 2, 1.
For this area just before the third boss, there's 3 casters to watch out for. The Ice Caller casts Frostbolt and Cold Fusion, which is the ice orbs, so don't get trapped in the circle or walk into them because you'll get frozen. The Pyromancer casts Pyroblast and Cinderbolt Salvo, which does AoE damage on the party. And then the Arcanomancer casts Arcane Bolt and Spatial Disruption, which casts on the furthest target a massive swirly towards them, and it hits like a truck if they stand in it. I'd say the Pyromancer kick is probably the most important, Pyroblast, as it hits the hardest, but do try CC all of them best you can and kick as many casts as you possibly can.
Feet. Feet.
So for the Master Sorcerer herself, she does every special cast I just listed from those 3 mobs. There's Spatial Disruption, Cold Fusion and Cinderbolt Salvo, except the Spatial Disruption now pulls all party members towards where it exploded, which will be in your furthest player. Right off the bat, she casts Cinderbolt Salvo every time, and you're going to see it just completely wipes the floor with some of the party members because they didn't have a defensive coming into the fight. So make sure you have one coming in, and then make sure you have a defensive for the other casts of Salvo. Keep an eye out for Spatial Disruption, as you can be pulled into the Ice Orbs or the Fire Puddles, and they probably will kill you. Outside of that, just getting the boss down as quick as possible so you can unclench and be on your way. certain party member may have been too close to the boss when we first went in, hence the cut in the video, and the tank frontal went on everyone. So yeah, moving on. Beware of the tank frontal when you're actually doing the boss normally. It's a super easy fight. You want to save your defensives when the ad spawns and you nuke them down as fast as possible. In certain phases of the fight, it's going to spawn little flowers all over the place. You want to trample on as many as you possibly can, hopefully getting rid of all of them, because ads will spawn on the ones you haven't got rid of. I can't emphasize enough, full send every single ad spawn. If you have CDs coming up, like Primordial Wave, and the ad's about to spawn, just save it, and then you can nuke it down even quicker, because it does pulsing AoE damage. Other than that, it's just getting the ads down, blasting the boss, winning the dungeon, and getting huge crits because the boss takes increased damage. That sums up the video. Wasn't too many tips in this dungeon, but hopefully the tips were tipping for you. I've been a little delayed as new things about the dungeons are being found out every few days with little things you can do. So I'm trying to get footage of them and then put them in a video. I'm really glad to be making these videos again, and I'm sorry for the wait. I've got a few videos already in my folder, so I'll be getting them out as soon as possible. New tier set actually feels so good in Mythic Plus. If you haven't come back to Enhancement or are wondering what alt to play, come play Enhancement because honestly it just feels great. Just as an announcement, I have kind of completed my own UI, so you can come get those in the Discord. They're all for free. And my current score is 2,824 Rio. I'm probably going to try push for the title this season, but yeah, just thought I'd let you know. Thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time. Peace.